3 years ago, I was broke, drowning in debt. No plan, no way out. But then, everything changed. I discovered a strategy, a millionaire strategy, that flipped my life upside down. It's not about working harder. It's not about luck. It's about thinking differently, rewiring your mind for wealth. Most people will never hear this. But today, I'm sharing it with you. If you're tired of struggling, tired of living paycheck to paycheck, this is your moment. Stay with me and I'll show you how I went from rags to riches and how you can too. Time is the one thing you can't buy back, yet so many people treat it like it's endless. Think about it. How often do you scroll through social media, telling yourself it's just a break, only to realize an hour's gone? Successful people, those with a true wealth mindset, know that time is their most valuable asset. They don't just manage it, they protect it fiercely. It's not about cramming your day with tasks. It's about focusing on what truly moves the needle toward your goals. Picture this. You've got a big dream, maybe financial freedom or starting your own business, but distractions keep pulling you away. Netflix, TikTok, endless emails, they're all thieves of your time. The key is learning to say no to what doesn't serve your purpose. A simple trick. Start your day by listing your top 3 priorities. Not 10, not 5, just 3. Then, tackle them like your future depends on it, because it does. Here's the thing. Managing your time isn't just about being productive. It's about aligning your actions with your money mindset. If you're serious about reprogramming your mind for wealth, you've got to treat your time like gold. Ever heard of Warren Buffett's 20-slot rule? He says you only get 20 opportunities in life to make big moves, so you better choose wisely. That's the kind of focus that separates the rich mindset from the poor mindset. And once you master this, you'll be ready to dive into the next step of the journey. Every great success story starts with a struggle, and Robert and Kim's journey is no exception. Imagine being buried in debt, with nothing but a dream and a relentless drive to escape the paycheck-to-paycheck grind. That's where they began. No trust fund, no safety net, just a vision of financial freedom. They didn't just stumble into wealth. They built it brick by brick, starting with small, strategic moves. It's a classic example of the rich versus poor mindset. While most people focus on earning more to spend more, they focused on creating assets that would work for them. Their story is a masterclass in resilience. When they couldn't afford to invest, they got creative. Selling silver bars, pre-selling products, and even taking on odd jobs to fund their dreams, they did whatever it took. This is where financial psychology comes into play. They didn't let subconscious money blocks or a scarcity mindset hold them back. Instead, they embraced an abundance mindset, believing that opportunities were everywhere if they were willing to look hard enough. And guess what? They were right. What's inspiring is how they turned their setbacks into stepping stones. They didn't just learn about money, they lived it. They studied millionaire habits, reprogrammed their minds for wealth, and made bold moves that most people wouldn't dare to try. It's not about luck. It's about strategy and grit. And as they climbed out of debt and into financial freedom, they proved that anyone can do it with the right mindset and a willingness to take action. Speaking of mindset, let's talk about the shift that made all the difference. The biggest game changer in Robert and Kim's journey wasn't a fancy investment or a stroke of luck. It was a mindset shift. Most people are stuck in the cycle of working harder to earn more, only to spend it all on liabilities. But here's the kicker. They realized that true wealth doesn't come from income. It comes from assets. This shift in focus, from earning to acquiring, is what separates those who achieve financial freedom from those who stay trapped in the rat race. Think about it. How often do we chase a bigger paycheck, thinking it'll solve all our problems? But the truth is, without a wealth mindset, more money just means more spending. Robert and Kim flipped the script. Instead of asking, "How can I make more money?" they started asking, "How can I make my money work for me?" That's the foundation of millionaire habits. Letting your assets do the heavy lifting while you focus on building more. It's not magic. It's math, paired with a shift in financial psychology. This mindset shift isn't just about numbers. It's about breaking free from subconscious money blocks. Many people grow up with limiting beliefs about money, like rich people are greedy or money is the root of all evil. But here's the truth. Money is a tool, and how you use it depends on your mindset. Once you reprogram your mind for wealth, you start seeing opportunities everywhere. And when you combine this mindset with the right education, the possibilities are endless. Speaking of education, let's dive into how learning played a pivotal role in their journey. Education isn't just about degrees or diplomas. It's about learning the skills that can change your life. For Kim, it was an accounting course that sparked a light bulb moment. She didn't just learn about numbers. She learned the difference between assets and liabilities, a concept that became the cornerstone of their financial success. This wasn't the kind of education you get in school. It was practical, actionable, and directly tied to building wealth. It's proof that the right knowledge can completely transform your money mindset. Most people think financial education is boring or complicated, but it doesn't have to be. Kim and Robert didn't dive into textbooks. They dove into real-world learning. They studied the habits of millionaires, read books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and played games like Cash Flow to sharpen their financial intelligence. These tools helped them reprogram their minds for wealth and see money in a whole new way. It's not about memorizing formulas. It's about understanding how money works and how to make it work for you. What's powerful about their story is how they turned education into action. They didn't just learn, they applied what they learned, starting with small investments and scaling up as their confidence grew. This is where the financial freedom mindset comes into play. It's not about knowing everything. It's about being willing to learn and adapt. And once they mastered the basics, they were ready to take on bigger challenges like investing in assets. Speaking of which, let's explore how they started building their portfolio. Investing in assets is where the magic happens. Robert and Kim didn't start with million-dollar deals. They started small, with investments they could afford. Their first moves included buying silver and dabbling in real estate, proving that you don't need a fortune to begin building wealth. The key was reinvesting every profit back into their asset column, letting their money grow and compound over time. This is the essence of a wealth mindset, seeing every dollar as a seed that can grow into something bigger. What's fascinating is how they approached investing with creativity and strategy. For example, when they couldn't afford to buy more silver, they sold what they had to fund their next move. This is a perfect example of overcoming subconscious money blocks and embracing an abundance mindset. Instead of saying, "I can't afford it," they asked, "How can I make it happen?" This shift in thinking is what separates those who build wealth from those who stay stuck in a scarcity mindset. Their journey into real estate was another game changer. They started with undervalued properties, learning the ropes with small deals before scaling up to larger investments. It wasn't about luck. It was about discipline, research, and a willingness to take calculated risks. They understood that assets, whether it's silver, real estate, or stocks, are the foundation of financial freedom. And once you start building your portfolio, the possibilities are endless. But as they learned, investing isn't always smooth sailing. It comes with challenges. Let's dive into how they overcame those obstacles. Every success story has its share of roadblocks, and Robert and Kim's journey was no different. They faced moments where money was tight, opportunities seemed out of reach, and the odds were stacked against them. But here's the thing, they didn't let those challenges stop them. Instead, they got creative. When they couldn't afford to fund an investment, they pre-sold products or sold silver bars to raise the cash. It's a classic example of turning a scarcity mindset into an abundance mindset, finding solutions instead of excuses. One of their biggest lessons was that lack of money isn't the real problem. It's a lack of resourcefulness. They didn't sit around waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect amount of capital. Instead, they used what they had and made it work. This is where financial psychology plays a huge role. Most people let subconscious money blocks convince them that they can't move forward without more money. But Robert and Kim proved that creativity and determination can open doors that seem locked. What's inspiring is how they embraced failure as part of the process. Not every investment worked out, and not every idea was a home run. But instead of giving up, they treated each setback as a lesson. This resilience is what separates the rich mindset from the poor mindset. They understood that challenges are just stepping stones to success. And as they overcame these obstacles, they gained the confidence to take on bigger risks, like diving deeper into real estate. Speaking of which, let's explore their real estate strategy next. Real estate was a cornerstone of Robert and Kim's wealth-building strategy, but they didn't dive in blindly. They started small, buying undervalued properties during market downturns when others were too scared to invest. This approach wasn't just about timing. It was about understanding the market and spotting opportunities where others saw risks. They treated each property as a learning experience, building their confidence and sharpening their skills with every deal. It's a perfect example of millionaire habits in action. Start small, learn fast, and scale up. One of their key strategies was buying properties that generated cash flow, not just appreciation. They weren't interested in flipping houses for a quick buck. They were focused on long-term wealth. By keeping their money in the asset column and reinvesting profits, they created a steady stream of income that grew over time. This is the essence of a financial freedom mindset, building assets that pay you even when you're not actively working. It's not about chasing trends. It's about creating stability and security. What's remarkable is how they used market crashes to their advantage. While most people panicked and sold off their properties, Robert and Kim saw these moments as opportunities to buy. They understood that wealth is often built during times of crisis, not comfort. Their real estate strategy wasn't just about making money. It was about mastering the mindset of abundance and seeing possibilities where others saw problems. And as they scaled their investments, they relied on one critical skill: financial discipline. Let's dive into that next. Financial discipline is the glue that holds any wealth-building strategy together. For Robert and Kim, it wasn't just about making money. It was about keeping it and putting it to work. They understood that every dollar spent on liabilities was a dollar that couldn't grow in their asset column. This mindset required a level of self-control that most people struggle with. Instead of splurging on luxuries, they reinvested their profits, letting their money compound and create even more wealth. It's a habit that separates the rich mindset from the poor mindset. One of their secrets was treating their finances like a business. They tracked every expense, analyzed their cash flow, and made decisions based on long-term goals, not short-term gratification. This is where financial psychology comes into play. Most people are tempted to spend as soon as they see extra money, but Robert and Kim reprogrammed their minds for wealth. They saw every dollar as a tool to build their future, not just something to spend in the moment. It's a subtle shift, but it makes all the difference. What's powerful about their approach is how they stayed consistent, even when it wasn't easy. Financial discipline isn't glamorous. It's about saying no to things you want now so you can say yes to bigger opportunities later. They didn't let distractions or societal pressure derail their focus. And this discipline paid off, allowing them to build a portfolio of assets that gave them true financial freedom. But what about the next generation? Let's explore the advice they have for millennials. Millennials are often labeled as the instant gratification generation, but Robert and Kim believe this group has incredible potential if they focus on the right things. The problem? Too many are distracted by social media, chasing trends, or trying to keep up with a lifestyle they can't afford. The key to breaking free from this cycle is real financial education. It's not about earning more to spend more. It's about building a wealth mindset and learning how to make money work for you. Apps, podcasts, and even games like Cashflow can be powerful tools to start this journey. One of the biggest traps millennials fall into is thinking they have plenty of time to figure things out. But here's the truth. The earlier you start, the more time you have to let your investments grow. Robert and Kim encourage young people to start small. Whether it's buying a few shares of stock, investing in a side hustle, or even saving for a down payment on a rental property. The point isn't to get rich overnight. It's to build habits that lead to long-term financial freedom. Millionaire habits aren't about luck. They're about consistency. What's refreshing about their advice is how practical it is. They don't sugarcoat the challenges, but they also don't make it sound impossible. Millennials have access to more resources than any generation before them, but it's up to them to use those tools wisely. By focusing on financial intelligence and avoiding distractions, they can reprogram their minds for wealth and create a future that's not just comfortable, but abundant. And once you've got the right mindset, the next step is taking action. Let's talk about how to get started. Taking action is where everything comes together. Robert and Kim emphasize that you don't need to have it all figured out to start, you just need to take the first step. Maybe it's setting aside a small amount each month to invest, or reading a book like The Richest Man in Babylon to build your financial literacy. The key is to start small and stay consistent. Wealth isn't built overnight, but every small step you take compounds over time, creating momentum that can change your life. One of their favorite pieces of advice is to stay busy with productive activities. Instead of wasting hours scrolling through social media, use that time to learn about investing, explore new opportunities, or even network with like-minded people. Tools like budgeting apps, investment platforms, and educational games like Cashflow can make the process engaging and fun. The goal is to build your financial intelligence while taking tangible steps toward your goals. It's not just about learning, it's about doing. What's powerful about their approach is how actionable it is. They don't just talk about theory, they give you a roadmap. Start by identifying one asset you can invest in, whether it's stocks, real estate, or even a small business. Then, commit to reinvesting your profits to grow your portfolio. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. And as you take these steps, you'll start to see how your mindset shifts from scarcity to abundance. Speaking of abundance, let's talk about how this journey can transform your life. Now that you've got the tools and strategies to transform your financial future, the question is, what are you going to do with them? Will you let this knowledge sit on the shelf? Or will you take action and start building the life you've always dreamed of? Remember, it's not about where you're starting. It's about where you're headed. Every small step you take today brings you closer to financial freedom tomorrow. So, what's your first move? Think about the habits you can change, the investments you can make, and the mindset shifts you need to embrace. Are you ready to reprogram your mind for wealth and break free from the scarcity mindset? The journey won't always be easy, but it will be worth it. And the best part? You don't have to do it alone. This channel is here to guide you every step of the way, with insights, strategies, and real-world advice to keep you on track. If you found this content valuable, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with your family and friends. You never know who might need this information to start their own journey toward financial freedom. And if you're serious about changing your life, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. Let's build this journey together, one step, one habit, and one mindset shift at a time. Your future self will thank you.